Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد. Dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new edition of Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with area code 002 01002464 4583. Alternatively, the area code is also 002 01125 and the email addresses is ask@huda.tv and gardens@huda.tv. We have a few pending questions from the previous episode. First, Uthman from the KSA. She says, when praying witr, may I say the supplication in my native language? We did answer the question about making an invocation in the prayer in any other language other than the Arabic language. And we mentioned the khilaf, the difference of opinion. We said, Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, says, it is not permitted to make dua in your prayer or say anything in the prayer in other than Arabic. And outside the prayer or the namaz, it becomes makruh or disliked. So in the prayer, karahat tahrim, and outside karahat tanzih. And this is not practical, of course, because we mentioned that the Arab population amongst Muslims does not exceed 18%. So 82% are of non-Arab. And they also may enjoy making dua in the prayer or outside the prayer in their own mother tongue. They're only required to learn of Arabic, what will enable them to read the Quran or recite the adhkar, the prescribed adhkar. This is the opinion of Imam al-Shafi'i and other imams, which the adhkar of the salah, if it is something prescribed, then we must pronounce it, must read it in Arabic, such as Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-Azim, or making takbir, or reciting the Quran. No doubt that we should recite these in Arabic. They also give a concession to a new Muslim to recite some of these adhkar other than the Quran in their native language if they don't know and if they have not memorized or learned yet. But in general, Imam al-Shafi'i, may Allah have mercy on him, says if the person does not know Arabic, then he is permitted to make the invocations in their prayer in their own mother tongue, in sujood and otherwise. Similarly, if it is something not prescribed, if it is not a dua which have a text such as Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbi ghfirli wa samihni wa hdini wa ajirni wa afini wa zuqni, in between the two sajdas. So if the person in praying by himself or herself and they do not know how to recite dua in the qunut, or if they have something in their mind that they want to invoke Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with, they may. If they know the prescribed dua in the hadith of Al-Hasan, which is Allahumma hdini fi man hadayt, wa afini fi man afayt, wa tawallani fi man tawallayt, they should stick to that. Barakallahu fikum. Sister Aya from Egypt, Allah has blessed her with a baby, with a new baby. Please explain the aqiqah process. In the hadith of Samurah ibn Jundub, may Allah be pleased with him, and this is marfu', ascribed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kullu ghulamin, kullu mawludin, every newborn, murtahanun bi'aqiqatih, is mortgaged to his aqiqah or her aqiqah. يُعَقُّ عَنْهُ يَوْمَ سَابِعِهِ." The aqiqah should be offered on the 7th, that is the ideal time. وَيُسَمَّى وَيُحْلَقُ رَأْسُهُ, and to give him a name on the same day of, on the 7th day, in which you're slaughtering and distributing the aqiqah, and also shave his head, not her head. In fact, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam offered the aqiqah for the baby boy 2 sheep and 2 rams actually, and for the baby girl just 1. If somebody wants to give extra, to give to the baby boy 4 or 6 or more to make it a cow or a camel, be my guest. Do extra as much as you want, you will be rewarded extra. Similarly for the girl, if he wants to give 2 sheep instead of 1, that's perfectly fine, but we're talking about the minimum. Al-aqiqah is to slaughter at least an animal, a sheep or a goat, which should meet the same characteristics and requirements of the animal which should be offered as a sacrifice during Eid al-Adha or in the Hajj if you're performing Hajj al-Tamattu or Hajj al-Qiran. So for the sheep, it must be at least 6 months old. For the goat, it must be at least 1 year old. For the cow, it must be at least 2 years old. For a camel, it must be at least 5 years old. And the animal must be healthy, must be perfect. You do not pick one which is weak or broken limb or torn ear or broken nose. No, you choose the qurbani, something which is best. As we all know, this is going for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. On the 7th, if not on the 14th, if not on the 21st, as the hadith says, and if you can, then on any other day, but these are the preferences, you may slaughter the animal. You don't have to slaughter it by yourself. You can do it by proxy. You ask somebody or the butcher to pick up a nice one if you trust him, or you have to check it out yourself. Then after it's slaughtered, you can ask somebody to distribute it entirely, or save 1/3 for you and your family, 1/3 for your friends, 1/3 for the poor, either to be cooked and offered in a feast or to distribute the raw meat. It is better though to cook and invite people, particularly the poor, so that you benefit out of the dua which they will make for your son. That is the aqiqah. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Nuwaira from Nigeria.
Alaikum salam.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Sheikh, I want to ask you the importance of Laylatul Qadr and how do I benefit to eat
Okay.
from it?
Thank you, Sister Nuwaira. This question is just about time. MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah. Okay. Now, Sister Ruqayya from Egypt. What time is suhoor and when is it the last time to eat and drink? The ayah says of Surah Al-Baqarah, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. At dawn, that is the end of time for eating, drinking, or enjoying an intimate relationship with your spouse. Once the adhan is been called, the actual adhan, because in the hadith also Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, don't you be deceived by the adhan of Bilal, because he calls the adhan while it's still dark. The adhan which is called 15 or 20 minutes earlier is in order to alert people that in a few minutes the Fajr will approach and the adhan will be called. Once you hear Allahu Akbar of the actual adhan, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, but you should cease once you hear the adhan of Ibn Maktoum. Abdullah ibn Maktoum used to call the second adhan, in which he would say, As-salatu khayrun min an-nawm. This is a declaration of that the Fajr has become very clear, and the ayah says, Al-khayt al-abyad min al-khayt al-aswad. So the light of the day and the darkness of the night has become very distinct. So now we don't have to go out to check out whether it's dawn or not. Rather, we have a prayer schedule, we have a fasting schedule. You can look in your calendar, you can listen to the radio if you're in a Muslim country, or tune into the Haram TV station. And if you are, for instance, in a local area where you go by the same timing. So these are all declaration of Al-Fajr. Once you hear Allahu Akbar, that is the end of time. In the prayer schedule and the Ramadan time, which is distributed in many countries, particularly the Indo-Pak societies, and in America and in Europe, there is something called Imsak time. So there are 5 times for the 5 daily prayers in addition to the 6th time, which is 15 minutes before Fajr, which is called imsak time. This imsak time does not mean anything other than that you should prepare yourself. If you want to grab something to eat, if you want to grab something to drink, you still have 15 minutes until the actual imsak time. So it shouldn't be imsak. Imsak means withholding, because this is deceiving. Rather, it should be an alarm and alerting people that in 15 minutes you should be ready, that inshallah you must stop eating and drinking and so on. So it does not stop you from eating and drinking what you see in the calendar which says imsak, as long as it is any different than the Fajr time, the actual Fajr time. Brother Abdul Aziz from Egypt.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Abdul Aziz, please mute your TV.
Yes, my first question is...
I'll be able to take your question before you mute TV.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, my first question is regarding, I'm advised not to fast because I'm going to undergo a transplant, a kidney transplant. So I want to know when is the right time to pay the fidya. Am I to pay in Cairo now or when I go back to my country?
Barakallah fi.
Second question is regarding to the stand of the Muslim Ummah now. It's regard to democracy. The last time you did not answer the question, and I wanted to know what is our stand towards democracy. Barakallah fikum.
Abdul Aziz, indeed, I did answer this question in details last time, last episode. And please mute your TV every time you call, okay? As far as the so-called democracy or the fake democracy, I did answer this question in the last episode. It was a pending question, so you can check it out on our website, inshallah. And I did speak about this repeatedly. Hundreds of people are falling dead of innocent protesters. I want you to imagine if these peaceful protesters were violent protesters, but Christians, for instance, in Egypt, or belonging to any liberal party or whatever. They were not praying. The whole world, America, would move their people and their diplomats or even their troops in order to rescue the minority, in order to rescue the peaceful protesters. They have been giving us a hell over a year, throwing Molotov and homemade bombs and killing people and cutting roads. Nobody objected whatsoever. And Mr. Baradi, who is a Peace Nobel winner, we are forming a page in order to demand the withdrawal of this prize from him. He does not deserve it. He is a murderer. He is a murderer. Now he is a vice president of the country. He does not condemn the killing because it is done under his authority. So democracy is not prescribed for Muslim people. Rather, if democracy would produce people who are religiously committed or would go by the Quran and the Sunnah, then it is refused. And I have made this remark 100 times or even more. Trust me, history is repeating itself. Only is made and formulated in order to bring certain type of people. But if it brings via elections and votes, there have been five wonderful elections between election and referendum over the past 2 years. They have been all cancelled in 1 minute by a military coup. And these guys who were raised in the West, Mr. Baradi and others, have been raised and funded by the West. Now they denounce democracy and they say democracy is not only voting, democracy is to come on the back of a tank. And they are directly and entirely responsible for the mass murder of people while they're praying and while they're fasting. I hope I don't have to keep talking about this. Maybe I will just give one bayan once and it will be posted on my website, and that's it, inshallah. As far as fasting You're exempt, of course, because you're undergoing kidney transplant. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you an instant shifa and make you recover swiftly, inshaAllah Azza Jal. We pray for you. The fidya you can pay for the whole month since the beginning of the month if you know that you won't be able to fast, or if you want to pay day by day, that's fine. Paying the fidya here or in your country, if you are residing here now and there are poor people, we know that there are hundreds of thousands of Syrians. They are more than eligible for your fidya, so go ahead and pay it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Idris from Nigeria.
Alaikum salam, Sheikh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam, Sheikh. I have a question. I want to confirm about Tahajjud prayer. Is it compulsory that I have to do it with the Imam, or I can do it just on my own in my own house?
Okay, thank you, Idris.
That is all. Thank you.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدَ بِهِ نَافِلَةً لَكَ عَسَىٰ أَن يَبْعَثَكَ رَبُّكَ مَقَامًا مَحْمُودًا. So a tahajjud is prescribed whether individually or in congregation. And the Taraweeh prayer, which is also some sort of tahajjud, any night prayer is Qiyamul Layl or tahajjud. You can call it this way or that way. Whilst the word tahajjud will be describing the prayer which is offered in the last part of the night, to be very specific. But still, any part of the night you offer a prayer that's called a night prayer or tahajjud. So whether you pray it in jama'ah, in congregation, or you pray it by yourself, it is permissible. You don't have to pray it in jama'ah though. But in Ramadan, and since it is held in congregation, it encourages everybody to pray behind one imam with a melodious voice and perhaps listen to a khatira. That will be highly encouraged, because you definitely pray Isha in jama'ah in the masjid. So join the imam. Then at home you can pray extra if you want to. Thank you, Idris from Nigeria. Brother Ahmed from the KSA, what defines fi sabilillah in zakah? This is one of the 8 categories who are eligible to receive the zakah. Can someone who is completing his prayer later become Salatul Masbuq? That's another question. Fi sabilillah, initially it means fi sabilillah, for the sake of Allah, for the cause of Allah in jihad, funding the Muslim army, the Muslim organized army, defending the Muslim territory, the Muslim faith, the Muslim state, and so on. It can extend to anything that would serve the purpose. Sending preachers overseas and funding them to spread Islam, to inform people about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His oneness and the deen, also counts as fi sabilillah. And all the means which are required in order to facilitate that, printing books, audio, video materials, all of that, that is fi sabilillah as well. Salatul Masbuq, Imamatul Masbuq, that is the question. Can someone who is completing his prayer later become an imam? If you happen to come late and you're making up a missed rak'ah or more, then somebody tap on your shoulder in order to inform you that I'm going to pray behind you. Can you be an imam while you happen to be a follower to another imam? There is a difference of opinion in this regard, but the more right view that it is permissible. Al-Imam Malik is of the view that it's not permissible, yet according to the vast majority and the more right view of the fuqaha, yes. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to one of the companions who came late, he delegated his companions as who would like to give him a charity and lead him in the prayer. So whether you pray behind somebody who's praying nafilah, voluntary prayer, or behind somebody who is praying the fard but making up the missed rak'ahs in the same prayer in which he was a follower behind another imam, that is permissible to join him as a ma'moom as well. Brother Muhammad from Nigeria, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Go ahead, Brother Muhammad, quickly, please.
Okay. My question is that if some ladies were following the Imam during the Isha prayer, so along the line when they were doing the fourth prayer, so the light went off and then the speaker cut off. So as the ladies were staying in their position of prayer before the bell was on in the mosque, and it happened that Imam has went off without their knowledge and they didn't hear the sound. So when the generation was on, they found out that the Imam was raising up from the third rakah, the beginning of the third rakah. So the ladies now continued with him. So after the prayer, are the ladies supposed to bring the one rakah they did, or they were supposed to do their own ruku and then follow the Imam to the sujood? So I don't know which one is supposed to be.
Okay, thank you, Muhammad. Jazakallah khairan. Brother Ahmed, third question. What about a traveler? Yani, if you enter the masjid and you are a musafir, a traveler, you are allowed to shorten the prayer. And you see a jama'ah. If the masjid is for local people, and this is most of the cases are like that, I mean the imam is local, then even if you join the imam in the last rak'ah, you intend to pray full. Because in this case you join the imam and according to his residency or his residency condition. If he is praying 4, you should pray 4. Whether from the beginning or from the middle or even in the last rak'ah. If he's praying, if he's a musafir and declare to people that he's a musafir, then you should pray qasr along with him. For instance, at the airports there are musallas. Most of the time, the person who's leading the prayer, like everybody else, is praying qasr. So you may assume that you're praying qasr from the beginning. What if the person happened to pray full because he happened to be a local person or living next to the airport? In this case, you continue with the imam and you do not oppose him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Shaykh Salah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Muhammad, mute your TV, please. Mute your TV.
Okay. Sheikh, my wife is working and she has some savings. Now, from this saving, she wants to give zakat to my parents. Is it permissible that my wife can give zakat to my parents?
Okay. Are they eligible? Are they poor?
Well, I am sending money to my parents, but my father is not working and they don't have enough money.
Now, so, Muhammad, my question is very specific. Are they poor and eligible? I mean, do they take zakah from others?
No, they don't pay zakat to others.
Do they accept zakah from others? I mean, if a neighbor decided to pay his zakah, are they eligible to take his zakah?
I'm not sure. I think they have never accepted zakat from anyone.
Well, you need to.
But my wife has this question that is it permissible to give zakat to parents or the parents-in-law?
I got it.
Well, I have another question.
Nah.
Another question is we have national bond in UAE, which is we are saving. We have bought some bonds and we have national bonds. Now we have some share also from some company. So, and we have some cash saving also. So how we can give zakat? Do we have to combine national bond, share and cash saving all together and then give zakat, or the zakat is applicable separately on share, separately on national bond and then on cash saving?
Do you and your wife invest together and save together, or you have separate accounts?
Me and my wife, we have joint account and we have saving together. But share, my wife, share belong to my wife only.
Right.
And national bonds belong to me. But our cash money is in our joint account and we have savings in our joint account.
Thank you, Muhammad. Jazakallahu khair. Barakallah feek. Before I take Sister Sarah, Muhammad, what you need to know is whether your parents are eligible or not. Generally, if they are eligible and poor and accepting zakah, your wife may give her zakah to your parents, okay? But if they are not poor, if they are not eligible, then she cannot give them the zakah. It's like anybody else who is not even related to you. If he is not eligible, you cannot give him zakah. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين. I will answer the second question after take Sister Sarah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Sarah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, I have two questions, Sheikh. One is like, is it necessary to sleep before you pray tahajjud at night? Is it necessary, or we can just pray without sleeping late night?
Okay.
And second question is, if we are paying zakat al-fitra in the form of wheat or flour, how many kilograms should we give?
Okay. Thank you, sister.
That's it.
Sarah,
Thank
barakallah
you.
feek.
Jazakallah.
Wa jazakum. I just spoke about tahajjud. And Allah said, وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ. Any part of the night you pray, that is tahajjud. But the preferable part is the last 1/3 of the night. In the hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, that whenever the last 10 nights of Ramadan would enter, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would fasten his waist belt, would awaken his family, and would keep awake the whole night. وَأَحْيَا لَيْلَهُ. So he wouldn't sleep, praying all night long, praying and alternating with adhkar and Quran and dua and so on. So you do not necessarily have to pray in order to count as tahajjud. Barakallah fiki. Brother Muhammad, okay, let's take a short break and inshallah we'll answer these pending questions and take some more calls. Stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We already have some callers on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Ubaidullah from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yeah, Sheikh, I have two questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, one question that we usually have a monthly salary, and at the end of the year, if we check, we didn't have many savings. Because if we get the salary, we have our expenditure, and how can we pay zakat from our regular salary? This is one question. And the second is for regarding land. If you buy some land for home, and how you pay zakat for that, and you pay installment for that. So I need these two questions.
Okay, barakallahu feek, brother Ubaidullah from the KSA. Brother Bilal from Ghana, assalamu alaikum. Go ahead, ya Bilal, go ahead, quickly, please.
Hello?
Ya Bilal, if you can hear me, go ahead and present your questions, please.
One Muslim brother had a canoe buried Emperor of Mosque.
Ya Bilal. طيب, try again, Bilal.
That's my question. Yeah.
Do you hear me, Ya Bilal? Do you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Okay, please, I will drop this call and inshallah try again. I'm so sorry, Brother Bilal. Okay. Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates, assalamu alaikum.
Sheikh, I have one question. My wife and me, we are planning to go to masjid during last 10 days of Ramadan for the Qiyamul Layl. Now, hello?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, my wife has this question that is it compulsory or mandatory for women to go to masjid and then make a Qiyamul Layl behind Imam, or she can make ibadah in her house also?
Okay, as a matter of fact, it is much more recommended for women to pray at home, whether fard or nafla. Yes, okay. But if she goes to the masjid along with you in order to be encouraged to stand up in the night prayer and also do i'tikaf, because now, brothers and sisters, i'tikaf will begin tomorrow, and the last 10 days, the night will begin from tomorrow evening. So what you need to do, even if you're not doing i'tikaf fully, every time you enter the masjid for Isha, Taraweeh, Tahajjud and so on, intend to do i'tikaf, even if it is only a couple hours. Okay? Barakallahu fikum. Brother Muhammad from Nigeria, his wife was praying at home, following the Imam on the television or the speaker, and there was a power outage, and accordingly, in a couple of rak'ahs, the power returned, and she figured out that he is about to finish, and she's in another rak'ah. Actually, he cannot pray from home behind an Imam on the screen anyway. This prayer is invalid. You should pray on yourself, or when you pray behind an Imam, it should be with a complete integrity, praying in the same place. Either you can see or hear the Imam, or see the rows which are extended all the way, even over a mile. Like in the Haram, sometimes it is very much extended, maybe 1 or 1.5 kilometers, like a mile. So this is valid. You can hear, you can see. But praying behind an Imam on the television is not valid. Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates, him and his wife have a joint saving account. So if this is the case, we'll treat it as a company. What we do whenever it is due to pay the zakah, we pay the zakah or pay zakah, estimate the zakah on the entire share or on the entire position of all partners. Okay, on the saving account or the investment, on all the cash. If you do have a separate investment or shares, and she has some bonds somewhere else, that also these are zakatable, because in addition to your own position in this joint account, you already have the nisab, and likewise she does have the nisab. So that too have to be zakatable. So basically, I understood from you that you are doing everything together. So in this case, you add up everything and you pay the zakat 2.5% on your entire positions, you and your wife, whether stocks, shares, or bonds, saving or investment or whatever. Now, Sister Sarah, zakat, if we pay in grains, how much is it? Per person, 1 صاع. فرض رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم صدقة الفطر صاعا من تمر أو صاعا من شعير أو صاعا من زبيب. الصاع is 2.5 or 6 kilogram of food. Okay? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Ahmed from Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Now, go ahead, Brother Ahmed.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. That is my name was, that's number one. Number two, I want to know about Fidal prayer, because I heard on TV that Fidal is mainly for someone that is alive, not for people that is dead. So I want to know.
What kind of prayer you ask? What kind of prayer is it?
What did you say?
What kind of prayer you're asking about for the living people?
What did you say, please?
Okay, why don't you repeat your question, Brother Ahmed,
yes,
please?
Yes, that is Fidal.
You know, if you mute your TV, it will be very helpful.
That Fidal prayer is mainly for people that is alive, not for people that is dead.
طيب, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you, Brother Ahmed. Barakallah feek. Brother Ahmed from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Brother Muhammad, sorry, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have read somewhere that husband and wife, if they wake up for tahajjud in the night, then husband can lead prayer with wife, and wife can make prayer with husband in Jama'ah. Is it true? Is it okay? I can do that?
Yes, of course. You can always lead your wife in the prayer and in many other things. And in the prayer, if you know how to recite Alhamdulillah or even reading from an open Quran, you can do that. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in one hadith, Naddar Allahum ra'an. Naddar, may Allah bless and brighten the face of a person, of a man who wakes up at night to pray and he awakens his wife. He makes sure that his wife would join him in the prayer. And may Allah bless a woman who would wake up at night to pray, and she would make sure that her husband also will get up to pray with her. And if he is too sleepy, she would sprinkle some water on his face in order to get up and join her in the prayer. Thank you, Brother Muhammad from United Arab Emirates. Sister Sarah, as zakah and the measure, we said the sa' per each family member. Per each family member. So, mashallah, if you are a family of 6 members, a couple, a husband and wife and 4 kids, then you have 6 sa's, and the sa' is 2.5 or 2.6 kilogram of, I said, dates, barley, raisin, rice, or wheat. Brother Ubaidullah from the KSA is asking about zakah on the salary. There are 2 ways to pay your zakah. One, which is to pay on monthly salary, which is very hectic. And the easier one, which is annually. By the end of the year, once you started possessing the nisab, you calculate today, alhamdulillah, you already own that much, which is zakatable. Next year, next lunar year, around the same time, you should pay zakah if you still maintain the same amount or even go over it, earn more money. And the zakah will be 2.5%. And that is the easier way, because sometimes when you take the salary, 1 month you spend it all, 1 month you save some out of it, and so on. In addition to, you may have other positions. So what are you going to do by the end of the year? Pay 2 different types of zakah. The easier is to pay it annually. Also, if you would like to pay your zakah in advance, because you're paying some poor families in the form of salaries, you can do that in advance. And what happens is you keep in your diary or in your book that how much you paid. So by the end of the lunar year, the lunar cycle, and whenever you're ready to pay your zakah, you deduct your previous payments, and if there is anything, the balance you paid. If none, that's fine. If you have paid extra, you can either consider it a voluntary charity or you can add it to the zakah of the upcoming year in advance, inshallah. Now, zakah on a property or a land, a lot that he bought in order to buy a house, and he still owe some payments on that. As long as you possess the money with you, you pay zakah on it. If you don't want to pay zakah on it, pay it towards your payment. Then you're even. But as long as you have the money in your possession, you're going for Hajj, you owe some payment a year from now, you do whatever, then pay zakah on what you already possess. Brother Ahmed from Ghana, can you just pray for somebody who's dead, or you can also pray for the living ones, or vice versa? You can pray for every person, living or dead. We're encouraged to pray for the dead because they can't help themselves anymore. They have been disconnected. An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whenever the servant of Allah dies, all his good deeds will come to end, except from 3 ways. One of them is a dua. Particularly, he mentioned a waladin salihin yad'u lah, because the child, the son or the daughter will be much more keen than others to remember their parents in their dua. And can I pray for somebody who is living? Yes, I just pray for you. May Allah bless you. And Brother Abdul Aziz, who are having a kidney transplant, I pray for him, and I ask you all brothers and sisters to make dua for him in this blessed time during the month of Ramadan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him a safe operation and make him healthy and recover quickly. It is permissible. Not only that, you get a similar part of the dua, of the virtues of the dua. I prayed for somebody's health, Allah will make me healthy. I prayed for somebody good welfare, Allah also will give me the same as we mentioned in the hadith earlier. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Oh, Sister Fatima from Mozambique.
Yes, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You know, Sister Fatima, this is the first time we get a call from Mozambique.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I always watch your show. I like your show.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Barakallah fiki. You're a pioneer. Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question. Like, when a father have like 2 or 3 wives, and both of the wives, like the first and the second wife, have adult children. They are grown up, and the third wife have like little children. They are little, and he's old, and he's old. He's trying, like, before he passed away, like before he died, he tried to share his wealth, like his will, to share his money or house or anything that he has, to share it according to how he likes between his children. Like, because he's saying he thinks like he's feeling like maybe those false children, like the ones that are grown up, when he passed away, they're gonna cheat and take all the money, and I don't know, the little children will
I got your question, Sister Fatima.
What they should have.
Mashallah, such a big family. Okay, I got your question.
He share the money, like he gives the little children more according to how he likes. That's the way he share his wealth.
Okay, barakallah.
How is that?
Thank you, Sister Fatima. I got your question. Brother Umar from Oman is next on the line. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. Sheikh, how are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Brother Umar. Barakallah feek.
Alhamdulillah. Sheikh, I have a couple of questions regarding Salah.
Now.
In fact, one of that, normally brothers having a long length of pants, and when they go for Salah, they just fold it up. Is it permissible or not?
Type. Okay.
And other than that, if we reach in the mosque and Salah Tarawih already started, can we pray our Isha prayer behind them? They will salam and we'll finish our 2 of the rak'ahs.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
And the third one is, in the house where we are living, we are having a portion which is rented out. We have to pay the zakah on that house as well?
You're living in the house?
Yeah, we're living in one portion, and the other portion which is on the top, it is on rent.
Okay, no, you don't pay zakah on the rental properties. Rather, you pay zakah on the earning out of the rent after paying the utilities and the remaining balance. If it's zakah, you pay zakah on that.
And the last one, if we are in the traveling and it's a time for Isha or any other prayer, we didn't pray that unless we just reach our destination, our home. Now we have to pray full prayer or qasr prayer.
Naam. Any prayer, whenever you delay it until you return home, once you enter into your territories, you pray full. You're not a musafir anymore. Excuse me. Now, thank you, Brother Umar. Okay. I'm looking for the pending questions first because we have many, mashallah. Now, Sister Nada from the KSA. When making the 2 prostrations, I apologize, I won't be able to take any phone calls because I'd like to wrap it up before we end the program and answer these questions. Sister Nada, she forgot something in the prayer, so she was making it up by offering the 2 prostrations of forgetfulness. And she forgot the same thing in the prostrations of forgetfulness. In fact, the scholars are of the view that if you forget anything in the prostrations of forgetfulness, you do not owe another set of forgetfulness. Rather, it will be complete. But I think it is too strange to forget the same thing in the prayer and also in the 2 sajdas of forgetfulness. That's a sign of that you really need to focus on the prayer and pay attention. And also it's a sign of hasting and rushing, because when you forget the dua in between the 2 sajdas, I see a lot of people, they can barely sit up or rise up in the state of ruku'. So they say Allahu Akbar or Sami Allahu liman hamida, and right away they go for sujood. I doubt that they even barely finish Sami Allahu liman hamida. And in sujood, in between the two sajdas, I doubt that they finish Allahu Akbar. No, you need to sit up comfortably. And you say in your sitting, رب اغفر لي وسامحني واهدني وأجرني وعافني وارزقني. Then Allahu Akbar. Do not rush. Reading Surah Al-Kahf on Friday night. The day begins on the sunset of the previous day. Okay, so you can read it on the night before, which precedes the Fajr of that day. Sis Zaheen from Uganda: did the Prophet ﷺ pray Salatul Tasabih every Thursday in Ramadan? False, false, false. No reference whatsoever. We're already having an issue whether Salatul Tasabih is prescribed or not, and we discussed this. Then now you're adding a very complicated prescription every Thursday and in Ramadan. Wow. We really need to inquire about the reference behind every claim. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, follow and do not innovate. Safira: some people do not act upon the authentic hadith because it comes in contradiction with their madahib. Is this correct? Al-Imam Malik, Al-Imam Al-Shafi'i, and the rest of the Imams. Al-Imam Abu Hanifa, may Allah have mercy on him, said, إِذَا صَحَّ الْحَدِيثُ فَهُوَ مَذْهَبِي. If the hadith is proven to be sound, then this is my madhab. These madhahib are not different religions. Rather, they were all seekers of the truth. Different opinions based on the available references. Once the hadith is proven to be sound, disregard any opinion of any opinionated person. لا اجتهاد مع نص. How could I accept ijtihad if there is a text either from the Quran or the sound sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Al-Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on him, said while standing before the grave of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, كل إنسان يؤخذ منه ويرد عليه إلا صاحب هذا المقام. Everybody's opinion may be taken, may be rejected, except the one who's lying in this place, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How could I be confronted with a hadith which is sound and I say, but my sheikh said so and so, or said something different? You, your sheikh, and the sheikh of your sheikh, and my sheikh are all following Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the only one who's communicating the message from Allah directly to us. Fatima from Mozambique: the father who's married to, mashallah, multiple wives, and some of his children from one wife are old and some are youngsters, so he wants to distribute the inheritance in his life out of fear that maybe the older children transgress against the younger ones, and so on. If you're going to divide it according to the Sharia, that is 100% valid. If you want to write down your wasiyah or bequest in your life, that's 100% actually recommended. But in order to prefer some children over others, that's not permissible. Unless if in your life you know that somebody who is misfortunate or handicapped, or for instance is more in need than others, and you assist them due to their needs, but to prefer some children over others out of love, because I love this one more or whatever. Hadith Nu'man ibn Bashir, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to his father when he wanted to give him a property, he asked him, do you have other children? He said yes. He said, did you give each and everyone like what you did give to Nu'man? He said no. He said, then go find somebody else to witness that I do not bear witness to falsehood. Inni la ashhadu ala zur. We ran out of time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all our entire times. Now it's my turn to ask you, brothers and sisters, to pray not only for Muslims in Syria but in Egypt. They are getting killed while praying. Muslims are getting killed, and the numbers in hundreds. In hundreds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save Muslims all over the world and spare their blood and spread peace all over the world. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate